In this video, I will be covering the installation of an IDE called Visual Studio Code. We will be using this IDE to do all the client-side development in this course. To start off with, open up Google and search for Visual Studio Code. The first link that comes up is usually code.visualstudio.com. So you can type that in directly into the browser URL or click on it. And you should be redirected to the site code.visualstudio.com. Now I'm going to be doing this installation on a Windows-based virtual machine. The installation is very similar for a Mac as well. I am running a Mac within which I'm running a virtual machine for Windows. I already have Visual Studio Code installed on my Mac, so I'm just going to go ahead and do the installation on the Windows virtual machine as part of this walkthrough. So we're going to download Visual Studio Code for Windows, and you should see it show up in your download bar if you're using Chrome. If you're using Safari, it should show up in somewhere up there. After it's successfully downloaded, feel free to open up the executable and walk through the installation process. Feel free to accept any agreement they provide. I'm just going to go ahead and install the app in the default location. I'm going to check some of the options over here. Open with code action to the file context menu. Open with code to the directory context menu. Once the installation is completed, feel free to launch Visual Studio Code. There's some documentation available that will automatically pop up. Feel free to browse through it. This is the Visual Studio Code environment. This is where we're going to be writing our HTML, JavaScript, CSS, React. This is where it's the IDE that we're going to be using in this course. If you go on File, you can create new files, you can open folders, you can create new folders, you can open up workspaces, so on and so forth. Now, one of the things that I am going to request you do is to install an extension. Now, on the left-hand side, you see a variety of options over here. This shows you your file explorer. This allows you to search for files or folders. This allows you to do source control. This allows you to work in debugging mode, where you see the bug. And this final one on the left-hand side allows you to install extensions from the Visual Studio Code extension marketplace. Now, I do want you all to install a few extensions. In this case, we're going to start with an extension. We're going to install an extension called Visual Studio Code Live Share. So let me look for it once again. Yep, this is it, Live Share. It's an extension built by Microsoft. Visual Studio Code is a Microsoft product. And what this allows people to do is it allows you to share your Visual Studio Code environment so that people can work with you on your code, right? So go ahead and install. So after you go through the process, Visual Studio Code Live Share has been installed, and if you take a look at this, you will see that under your installed extensions you have Live Share. Now, if you are of the persuasion, feel free to go ahead and install other extensions that might help you all. ESLint might help you format your JavaScript that you write. There are a couple of other extensions over here. Beautify might be a good extension. to again beautify the code that you write. There are a couple of other extensions over here for JavaScript and React. I'll let you know as we need them, the extensions we need to work with. But to start off with, we need the Visual Studio Code extension, which we've now installed. If you want to share your workspace or the work that you're doing with anyone to do collaborative development, one thing we could do is just share the workspace. As this says, once you click on live share, you'll need to sign in. You'll have two options, a GitHub account or a Microsoft account. I can sign in with my GitHub account. And once you do, you will actually get an invitation link, and you can circulate that invitation link so that people can follow the work that you're doing. That's a little bit about Visual Studio Code and the extension LiveShare that allows us to work collaboratively in this class. Thank you.